The objective of the interview is to interact with a person from other country and learn about his or her culture. We are going to interview a person from Canada. Okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to take out your notebooks, please. Take out your notebooks and your questions. Take out your notebooks, please. Take out your notebooks on your groups. Take out your notebooks. In your groups, I want you to decide which questions you would like to ask to this person. Let me turn off the light so you can see the picture. This is the girl that we are going to interview today. Okay? So I want you to think in your groups of the questions. Think of the questions on your notebook that you would like to ask to this person. So, Sergio, are we going to write the questions individually or in groups? Everybody has to participate. In groups. In groups. Okay.
We can see here, teacher lets students pair work, give interview questions about Canada. This teacher gives students clear instruction about what they should do in next step. This is a good point, but we should notice that students are all at A2 level, and the interview is more like a professional topic. For students who are in A2 level, the vocabulary and the knowledge of English interview are limited, so the basic interview vocabulary and the sentences input are important. It's better for students to have pre-activity in this topic, like showing an interview and the vocabulary so that students have an understanding about the form of the interview language and will be better used in their discussions.
The teacher always asks students to discuss questions in the same group, and each group doesn't communicate with each other. I think it is not benefit to second language acquisition. The teacher should encourage students to output more in group work. But if they just communicate in the same group, some students may use their first language more frequently. So the teacher could ask students to use text literacy like WeChat or WhatsApp apps to encourage the students in exchange their ideas.
Okay, now listen. Listen, time, everyone, time. Stop writing, time. Time. Okay, stop, everyone. Okay, so listen. I want a volunteer, okay, to come to the board. Sorry, a volunteer to tell me one question you would like to ask to the person. One question from your group. So, for example, group number 1. What is a possible question you would like to ask? What is your name? Okay, what is your name? Good. What is your name? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Copy the questions on your notebook and leave a space for you to write the answer, okay? With a space. A little bit of a space. Between question and question, leave some space. Yes? Yes, those are the questions that you are going to ask. Okay. So, now everyone, listen and repeat, please. Listen and repeat. What is your name? What is your name? What is your name? What is your name? How do you spell 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 your name?
Here, teacher speaks the questions which are provided by students, and then students repeat the sentences again, so that students can correct their pronunciation. And it's a good use of behaviorism. When teacher repeats the sentences to correct students' pronunciation, it's an repetition, so explicit feedback is also applied here. And the repetition is good for low-level students' second language learning.
Okay, so listen. I want 7 volunteers, one person per group, to ask one of the questions. Okay? So from the team number 1, who is going to ask the question? From team number 1. What is your name? Saul. So Saul, first question, okay? The rest of you, everyone, Emmanuel, every one of you are going to write what the person from the interview is saying. You are going to listen and write the answers on your notebook, okay? So from team number 2, how do you spell your name? Who would like to ask it?
How would you spell your name?
Okay, so Paulina, okay? How do you spell your name? Again? Paulina?
How would you spell your name?
How do you spell your name? Good. For on team number 3? Okay, sorry, 3. How is Canada like?
How is Canada like?
So you are going to be the person participating? So everybody, okay? Everyone taking notes, okay? The answer the person is saying. Then team number 4, okay? Okay, again, louder.
Which is from Canada?
Good. And team number 6, no, 5, sorry.
What is it?
Okay.
What is the lady of
$20 and white. So who is the lady of the $20 and white? Okay, Michelle. And number 6, who is going to participate? Sergio. Okay, Sergio, can you say?
What do you like of Canada?
Okay. And the last one, team number 7, who is going to be participating? Okay.
Which is the most export in Canada?
Okay, louder, please.
Which is the most export in Canada?
Okay, very good. So, ready? We are going to start the interview. So, everyone, the rest of you are going to be taking notes. What the person says, okay? The answers. Don't worry. If she speaks too fast, si habla todo muy rápido, don't worry. Relax and write whatever you can write, okay?
Oh yeah.
So, ready?
Ready, go.
Let's go.
Ella les primero está igual.
Yes. Listen, okay? Okay, question number 1. Okay, there you go. Question number 1. Okay, louder.
Hello, good morning.
Where's your name? Oh, it's easy. My name is Iki. L-I-S-Y-S. Okay, so what is your name? Okay, the next question. Okay, louder, okay? So she can hear you. Yes, you can get closer. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. What did you say your name?
Hi, my name is This is Michelle. L-I-S-Y-S. Okay. Thank you. Okay, the next person. Come on, be ready.
In the interview part, not every student have a chance to communicate with native speaker, just one of them to ask questions. The teacher will not know whether the students listened to the interview carefully. In addition, according to the student's level, the interview speed is a little fast to them. But when the interview finished, the teacher just check the answer with the students. I think it is a good opportunity to let students notice the L2 use in real life. So I think the teacher should use notice approach in feedback part in order to let students notice the language feature and its function. And then the students will discover how they can use the language in a real interview.
What is Canada like? How is Canada So you were saying, what is Canada like? Could you repeat it, please? Sure. I think they asked me what is Canada like? Yes. Right? Okay, it's really cold right now. We're getting 20 centimeters of snow. Outside it's snowing, so I was gonna show you guys.
Here we can see that the teacher lets students use the Skype to interview the female from Canada. It is convenient for students to do live interview by using this app. Students can also see the snow in Canada from the video call. I think students are able to gain a better understanding of the form and process of an interview. This activity also allows students to use the questions they designed to communicate. It might be meaningful as students do use the target language, but it is also a limitation that all the questions are prepared in advance. I mean, this interview is not communicative enough. The students did not react to the female from Canada. They just repeated the prepared question. It's not like a conversation, but a task.
I don't know if you can see it from the window. It's not. Hang on 1 second. There's snow. Yes, there's a lot of snow. Very look. We had about 2 weeks of good weather, so around 10 degrees Celsius. But now we're getting 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. So yeah, it's cool. Cool. Other than that, it's really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next. Who's next? Let me check this out. Hello. Hi. What is the lady of the $20 agreement?
Oh, she's the Queen of England.
The Queen of England.
La reina de Inglaterra.
So, are you ready? Okay. The next.
Hi. What do you like of Canada?
What do I like of Canada? People. The people here are really nice, really polite. No one's ever been racist to me. I don't know, they're just really, really nice people.
Okay.
Their culture it's very nice.
Okay. All right. Very cool. For Canada,
The last question.
Right. Which sport in Canada?
The most practiced is hockey.
The official sport is actually something called lacrosse, but the most practiced is it's hockey.
Okay, so those are all the questions from the interview. Thank you again for giving us some of your time. So say thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so
Nice talking to you guys. No problem.
say
Bye.
bye. Okay, so now let's check the answers. Okay, let's check the answers. So let me get some extras here. Okay. So now listen, everyone. Please, quiet. Okay, listen. What I want you to do, I want you to compare the answers. Check what you wrote on your notebook in your groups, please. I want you to check what you wrote on your notebook. Please compare in your groups. Check what you have on your notebook. Check your answers. Okay? So, question number 1. What is your name? Who wants to write it down? Okay. Lizzie, right? Lizzie? Lizzie Michelle? Villaseñor. Okay. So, yes. So, Lizzie? Lizzie? Michelle? Villaseñor. Okay, good. So, the next question. How do you spell your name? How do you spell? Who has the answer? Okay, let's. How do you spell your name? How do you spell? Everyone together. L-I-S-S-Y-S.
In this stage, the teacher uses the interactive whiteboard to give feedback to the whole class. Only one student volunteers to write down her answer on the interactive whiteboard. Though it is a good way to interact with students, not all the students have the opportunity to use it. Maybe the teacher could consider using the Microsoft Word to let students do corrections in groups. When the teacher writing down the answer, she encourages all the students to spell it together. This is a good point because all the students get involved in this activity.
How is Canada like? Who has that question? How is Canada like? Remember? The nieve, okay? How do you say nieve? Snow, okay? It's very cold. And it snows, right? Good. Which is your favorite food from Canada? What was your favorite food? Who wants to write it down? Poutine, right? How do you spell poutine? Yes, like this? Yes, on your notebook, check. Can you check the spelling? Here? A-E? Okay, thank you. Poutine.